Ward will be the number one pick in the NFL draft, but that doesn't mean that he's a perfect prospect. And there's a lot on tape that has to improve in the NFL. I'll show you on today's film breakdown from Tic Tac Titans. Titans fans, welcome into another film breakdown from Tic Tac Titans, your home for Tennessee Titans X's and O's. I am your host, Tyler Rowland, 25 years as a Tennessee Titans fanatic. I've covered the team for USA Today, Sports Illustrated, and hosted the number one Tennessee Titans podcast in the world, Locked On Titans, for 6 seasons. On today's film breakdown, we're going to be taking a look at the things that need to get better from Cam Ward at the NFL level. Look, I think Cam Ward is worthy of the number one pick. The Tennessee Titans will be selecting him number one overall, but that doesn't mean, again, that he is a perfect prospect, and he certainly isn't as clean of a prospect as we've seen at the quarterback position in the last 10 or so years. Andrew Luck, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence. Not saying that, all of those things panned out in the NFL, but in terms of a clean prospect, Cam Ward doesn't quite check the boxes that those guys did. So what is concerning about Cam Ward on the tape? Where does he need to get better on the film? I'm going to show you. We're going to focus on his decision-making, which can be erratic at times. We're going to focus on his accuracy and playing on time within the offense. And then we're going to take a look at his struggles with deep outside passes. So before we jump into today's film breakdown, do want to thank you for tuning in. Make sure that you get subscribed, stay subscribed for year-round free Tennessee Titans film content. Throw a thumbs up on the video, throw a tighten up down in the chat. And with that being said, let's step into the film room. If you're talking about concerns with Cam Ward coming into the draft, the number one thing that you have to talk about is the decision-making, okay? He has to find a way to find a healthy balance between the generational playmaking talent that he has that makes him special and also understanding when this is a situation where that sort of risk is not needed. And this play here against Cal is truly one of the worst decisions that I've ever seen. It is Levisian, I will say, crossbody throw into a crowd up on the sideline, intercepted, ran back for a pick six. And I mean, here's the thing. When you look at the situation too here, you're down by 11 points on the road. You just got out of halftime, 13 and a half minutes left in the third quarter. You can still come back. Yes, it's 11 points, but it's still close. It's 1st and 10. If it were the fourth quarter, you're down multiple scores and it's 4th down and long and you're trying to make something happen. Like, there are situations where a play like this, all right, you're trying to make something happen. I get it. But 1st and 10, down 11 points early in the third quarter, this is a despicable decision. So what we see here is a cover 3, deep third here, deep third here. You get your middle third guy right here. You have your curl hooks on, or your curl flats on the outside, and then you have your hook defenders on the inside. Basic cover 3, and what Miami does is they want to isolate Xavier Restrepo right here. So they're going to run a vertical route to take the cornerback. They're going to run an option route with Restrepo where he sits down right here and he go inside, he can go up, and he breaks outside on the out route. On the backside, you have 2 short sit-down routes right here, and then you have a deep in route right here. So the design of the play is to go to Restrepo right here on the option route, and hopefully you get an isolated matchup. And that's exactly what Cam Ward gets. Throw this ball right now, right here, to Restrepo. The cornerback has his back turned. You get what you want. It's 1st down. This may not be a huge play, but take your profit on 1st down, get your drive rolling, get things going, okay? And if Restrepo breaks a tackle, he could be down the sideline by himself. All right, that's not there. If you want to say that this defender is right here, and maybe he impeded Cam's vision, and he's like, I don't have an angle to throw that. I don't have a window. Well, you have this player coming down right here that's going to be wide open, sitting down. And you need to, if you decide you don't like that, look, get to the backside and take that short pass. Throw that in there. He's probably getting tackled, but you're going to take your 4 or 5 yards and go on. What you can't do is what Ward does here. He escapes. All right, this looks like every other awesome Cam Ward play. He makes it happen. but throwing back across your body while you're headed towards the sideline into the middle of the field, that's insane. You cannot do that. You cannot, and especially situation is everything. 1st and 10. Like, these are the plays right here that, you know, if Cam Ward busts at the next level, it's because he cannot figure out when to hold him and when to fold him. Insane. Can't do that. This is another one, man. Like, you just can't make these kind of decisions right here. Like, this one, you're up by 3, okay? There's 3 minutes left in the second quarter. You cannot make this sort of momentum swinging decision right before halftime. Like, this is a critical mistake. And it's 2nd and 15. So I get that you're trying to make something happen. The Hurricanes run just a little middle inside screen to the tight end here. But again, you got to know when to hold him and know when to fold him. Cam Ward's a gambler, and you just got to be smarter than this. Like, just throw it. You've already tried a jump throw. It's not there. It's not there. Just throw it at the ground at his feet and move on and accept that you lost the down. He refuses. And look, you complete this pass, you're getting close to an eligible man downfield anyway. The timing of the play is off. Just let it die. Instead, flings it forward, and it's an interception that gives the other team momentum. Like, you just, like, what? You just can't make these kind of decisions. And I don't want to ruin Cam Ward's playmaking ability and coach it completely out of him, but you got to find a balance. You got to find the healthy balance. That'll be the biggest struggle for him as a pro. This is another one right here. Like, it's another crossbody rollout. You just cannot do stuff like this. And again, can you coach this out of him? Can he find a healthy balance? Can he figure out when it's right and when it's wrong? You know, that is the big question going forward here. And, you know, they show a single high look with this safety kind of down low, but he's going to back out eventually, and it's going to be a cover 2 shell right here. Miami is going to have like a double deep in concept with Restrepo in the slot here, and the inside guy, or it might be this guy, comes in, but one of these guys comes in and runs the deep out over here, and it's just not there. It's just not there. The coverage wins, and you got to find a way to, like, dump it down to your running back right here. You know? Just get it out to your running back. It's not there. He's there. They got this covered up. This is covered up. He's right here. Just dump it down to the running back. Now, it's 3rd down. I get he's trying to, but if you dump this to the running back right here, he's picking up this 1st down. It's a one-on-one match with this linebacker because this corner ain't getting there. So dump this thing off. Right now. Right now. Right now. Now, the cornerback has reacted, maybe, but like, what follows, I would take a punt over this. You can't do this. Back across the field. It's like the cardinal sin of all cardinal sins. You can't do that. So, you know, the first throw we saw back across the field, the screen just now not letting it die, whatever this is, look, it's a double-edged sword, man, because when he does it and it works, it's absolutely incredible. It's game-changing. But when he does it and it goes terribly wrong, it can ruin the game. And he's got to find a balance with these decisions. All right, so I put this play towards the end of the decision-making section of the video because they're down 5 against Georgia Tech. It's less than 2 minutes in the 4th quarter. 2nd and 10. Like, you got to try to make something happen at this point. You absolutely have to. But at the same time, an incompletion, even a sack, doesn't end your chance to win the game. But a turnover does. And Cam Ward is just a little too loose with the ball right here. You know, holding it with one hand, running, like, you got to know at that point when you're running around through the pocket that something bad is going to happen soon. You got to have your hand on the ball a little bit more. So, again, I criticize him less for this decision, even though it's a game, because look, the game's on the line. He's trying to make something happen. I get it. But it is just another example of how when he starts to play make and he gets into that comfortable mode, sometimes he kind of gets lost in it. You know what I mean? You got to know someone's coming behind you. This might be the most acceptable turnover of all of the plays and the most acceptable decision of all the plays. It's not good, but it makes sense at least. So what Miami is going to do is they want to run a wheel concept. They're going to run some inside routes with their outside receivers, and they're going to have Xavier Restrepo come on a wheel route right here. Well, what happens is Virginia Tech is playing man coverage. So man here, man here, man here. But what they do, like a smart defense, a couple of these defenses in the AFC were much more similar to NFL defenses than some other defenses that I watched. I thought, Georgia Tech did a good job. Duke did a good job. I'm not saying that they're good college defenses, but just the way that they play defense, I think is more like what you see in the NFL than some of the others that we've seen. But what happens is, like NFL defenses will do, these two corners right here, the two inside defensive backs, they actually flip assignments. So this middle guy ends up picking up Restrepo on the wheel, and this inside guy ends up taking the inside route. And Cam Ward has predetermined on this play, I'm throwing the wheel route to Restrepo. He's predetermined it once he sees that it's man coverage. He doesn't think they're going to flip, and when they flip, it is an easy interception. Easy interception. Good tackle by Cam Ward there, though. But still, this sort of stuff happens way more at the NFL level, where, match assignments, they'll flip man coverage in the middle of it, they'll pass people off, and the guy who was in man will turn into zone. So he's got to do a better job at the next level of making these decisions and understanding that, what I see and what I think is going to happen pre-snap is not exactly what's going to happen post-snap. I don't think it's a huge issue for him on the tape, but just an example of how sometimes he does predetermine what he wants to do. He locks on to guys, and when you do that, it can turn into big mistakes, especially at the NFL. All right, so now I want to look at some accuracy and some playing on time, playing within the offense type things that I want to see Cam Ward improve on at the next level. So I use this play first because it kind of blends in some of the things we just talked about with decision making. So right here, you do have this man open. All right, this is open, and Cam Ward can make this play. But sometimes because he plays with such lackadaisical fundamentals, because he plays with those different arm angles and, he's real lax and comfortable and his footwork isn't always where it needs to be. He's played that way. And sometimes when you do that, though, it can affect your accuracy and he can be slightly off on some of these throws. And when you are, bam, now you overthrow. Now it's an interception. You know what I mean? This is a bad decision. He can make that throw. That's a crazy throw to make. I think he can make that throw, though, and I want him to count on his ability and confidence to make it. But got to improve the accuracy and understand that sometimes I'm in a position where there's no way I can be accurate and there's too many defenders around. Now, this play could be a miscommunication on the route, but it just seems like a poor throw and not an accurate throw from Cam Ward. You're going to have cover 3 coverage from Virginia Tech right here on the play side. You're going to have what seems like a deep out and then a post concept, okay? And it's there. It would take a good throw. Certainly would take a good throw from Cam Ward to hit this to Restrepo, but he leads him too far upfield instead of out to the sideline, and it leads to an interception. So what I mean right here is Cam Ward's thrown this with anticipation. Look how early he's letting this ball go. And I don't quite understand why he thinks it's going to be so open, why he thinks it's going to be man coverage. And when Restrepo goes to take this to the sideline, Ward leads the ball upfield, which leads Restrepo into the cornerback, causes the deflection, and then ultimately the interception. So I guess I'm just wondering why he would lead him upfield towards this cornerback. What is he not seeing? Is he not seeing that they're in cover 3 and he thinks it's man and it's going to be open? I can't quite figure out what he would be seeing, why he wouldn't hammer home this post instead. That's what I wonder. But again, the accuracy, the placement sometimes can be a little bit wonky for Cam Ward. He's got to get more consistent. Again, the accuracy, the ball placement can be a bit erratic for Cam Ward, and we see that here. He doesn't always get his feet lined up properly to make the right throw. Sometimes he can just count on his arm talent and he won't reset his feet properly, and then he's a little bit off. So you're going to see a sit-down route right here on the sideline with this guy driving vertical. And Ward wants to just kind of lead him to the side. This is a play that has to be easy money for Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans at the next level. And you got to have your ball placement on these, put it in the right spot. He's just a little too far outside. Now, again, you want to say this is maybe a miscommunication with the wide receiver, and the wide receiver should be headed outside more. But, I mean, this is so far outside that I have a hard time blaming the wide receiver for that one. You got to clean up that ball placement. And look, it's one play, but I'm showing you examples of things that happen all over the tape for Cam Ward. So when he has issues with his throws, it's usually because the accuracy of the ball placement isn't quite where it needs to be. So you got to clean that up, and that comes with footwork and making sure you're consistent at the bottom level, and then you'll be better at the top level. All right, so from some accuracy concerns to playing on time within the offense, Cam needs to get more consistent. He relied so much on the playmaking skills, and of course, I want him to keep using those, but you have to be able to play more on time at the NFL level, and you'll see it here. He's got multiple guys open. Hit your back foot. Get the ball out. Throw it to somebody. There's multiple people, and instead he doesn't do anything, and then he gets sacked and hits the ground for a huge loss, and if it wasn't a sack, it might have been an interception because he threw it up in the air like that. So let's go back here. And I just want to show you. There's so many people open. Back foot. All right, he finally hit that back foot. You got 7 in the middle. Maybe this is too tight of a window. You don't want to get it there. All right, fair enough. You got 2 sitting down right here in the middle of this triangle. All right, maybe you rip that in there. You don't like that? Okay, fair enough. The flat is right here with the corner with this back turn. All right, hit that. You don't like that? You got your back right here, and it's second down. All right? It's not like it's third down or fourth down. It's second down. Hit your back right here. Like, there are plenty of options. And he has a bunch of time. I mean, look at the pocket right now. There's no reason that we can't get this here, 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 or here. Why can't we do that? There's no excuse. All right? Play on time. Play within the offense. Get the ball out of your hands. You know, especially you got that kind of time, it can't end up like that. That's not. Boom, boom, boom. So much time. So many people. Not getting the ball out of my hand. Now I'm waiting. Now I'm doing nothing. Now I'm running back. Now I'm sacked for a huge 20-yard loss. Like, can't do it. So again, this set of throws is all about playing on time. So a lot of the time what you're going to have in the Tennessee Titans offense and Brian Callahan's offense, at least last year, you had a lot of two-man concepts, okay? So you're going to have 1 to 2. Either you hit 1 or you hit 2. You're looking at one guy, you're hitting 1 or you're hitting 2. Here, 1, 2 for Cam Ward. And then after that, what you do is you go to the backside in route. So typically there's a two-man concept. Again, it could be a post route with a flat route. It could be a smash concept with a corner route and a sit-down route. It could be an in route and a sit-down route. So many two-man concepts, especially with young quarterbacks. We saw it a lot with Will Levis last year out of gun. We're going to see it a lot this. It's West Coast concepts. We're reading two-man. We're taking the slant or the flat. And then usually paired with that on the backside is a backside dig route or a backside post route or a backside glance route. You know what I mean? Something like that coming back across the middle of the field. So it'll be 1, 2 over here, and then 3 is your backside middle crosser. Cam Ward does show examples of hitting that. And when I do my scheme video on Cam Ward, I said I was going to put that out Thursday, but I might save that for when he actually gets drafted by the Titans because I'm going to want to have some content for draft night too, right? Don't want to unload the clip right now, but he does show on tape that he can take advantage of the backside dig, but you got to be on time. And here he's simply not on time. This has to go quicker with the progression. So you're 1, 2, 1, no, 2. He's looking at it. And now we're coming to the backside. Flip, boom, right now, throw it. Right now. Now you got the backside dig. You got to throw it right now, instantly. any hesitation whatsoever, now you're late on the throw, and it brings this guy from that side back into the equation and sets up a hospital ball. Just if you get quicker through the progressions, you're going to be able to get to the backside dig quicker, and you're going to be able to hit it now. Instead of half a beat later. Do you see how he kind of twisted his upper body a little bit there? That split second of time that he wasted, it's too late. It has to be here, not here. And you may say, well, that's you're clicking it. That's the seconds. That's the split seconds of the NFL. And the windows are going to close quicker. So you got to get through that progression faster and get that backside dig going. Look, I wholly admit this one is not egregious, but I would have just liked to see him rip it. That's all. So, play action fake here, pulls the linebackers up, and look, you got Restrepo right here. I think you could hit that. I would like to see him rip that ball there. But, if he doesn't, this guy is chasing with him, so that means this is one-on-one. Give your guy an opportunity right here. You know you're clearing out right here, so I'd like to see him rip one of these. All right, instead, he doesn't. And he climbs the pocket, and he turns it into a decent little gain and falls over. You know, again, Cam Ward is not a Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels runner, folks. I'm just telling you. But, you know, I'm just saying I'd like to see him rip that pass. Just be on time. Play within the offense. You don't have to always go out of the structure of the offense. Lob that up. Give him a chance. You know, like, again, it's not egregious, but just saying. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to talk about that is concerning about Cam Ward going to the next level is his ability to hit outside deep shots. All right, so we saw in yesterday's video that Cam Ward is excellent at post routes, at corner routes, in breaking routes over the middle to the intermediate parts of the field. He's excellent. Even the deep intermediate parts of the field over the middle of the field, very good player. But to the deep outsides, he struggles. And when we talk about how he has a very, very good arm, but he does not have the bazooka cannon that's of the elite arms in the NFL have. All right, so we're going to see a vertical route down at the bottom of the screen. Roasted and toasted. Roasted and toasted. But Cam Ward underthrows it. And a guy has to stop, and because he stops, they're able to catch up. And because they're able to catch up, it's no completion. Like, this needs to be 100%, maybe not 100%, but I mean, like, this does concern you. Is Cam Ward's arm is good, but, you know, that's a 50-yard bomb right there from basically the 55 to the 5, and it's just not enough. Like, he's got to zip it out more. So, deep outside shots, and I'm going to go over a ton of them here in rapid succession, but their throws, and I think he needs to get more lined up. He's kind of like leaning back and heaving, and his feet are in the middle. I'm no QB like guru when it comes to the technical stuff, but I feel like if he got his feet lined up more to the sideline, like right there, his feet are pointing straight, but he's throwing all the way to the right, and look how the ball goes up and tails. Like, I think he's got to fix his feet to drive that a little better. All right, this is another example. Look down at the bottom of the screen. We have, I believe it's Restrepo, goes on a little out and up. Oh, no, it's the outside guy who goes straight forward. But, again, outside and deep. The guy comes in motion, cuts it upfield on the vertical route. Outside and deep. He's just not super accurate. That's not really that close. Doesn't really give his man a chance. He's kind of just flinging it out there, and that's way out of bounds. No chance at all. Now, on this one, we're looking at the bottom of the screen, okay? But I'll give Cam Ward this. This was not open, but the throw was way off and way out. Like, he didn't really give his man a chance, in my opinion. If you want to throw that up and give your guy a chance, then great. But you didn't do it because the ball isn't anywhere close to accurate enough for that to happen. Like, look how far away. I mean, that's on the other side of the white stripe, out of bounds. No chance that you're getting that completion right there. Like, it's all over the tape, man. The outside deep ball is just not good enough. bottom of the screen, once again, vertical route down the sideline to the outside, and he's just not accurate. Sometimes it's under, sometimes it's over. That one's over. Look, he's got a strong arm. You know, it's not a weak arm like we talked about. Like, it's going to be above average in the NFL, but it's not, especially with the accuracy deep. He just doesn't consistently complete these passes and complete these opportunities when they're there, because this is there. I mean, this should be a touchdown. One thing that does worry me schematically here is the Tennessee Titans love to run slot fades, especially against man coverage. And in a couple of examples that we have here, again, deep to the outside, and that includes throwing that slot fade, Ward just doesn't have great accuracy on those. Here's another slot fade as well. It's going to be at the top of the screen with Restrepo. He's in the slot, and slot fade, you come out and then just get vertical right here. Titans like to do this, especially against man coverage. And, the reality is Ward just doesn't throw those super well. All right, Titans fans, I hope you guys enjoyed that breakdown on some of the struggles that I saw on tape from Cam Ward and some things that he'll need to improve at the NFL level. Can he improve there? That'll be a big question going forward. If you want to check out all the positive stuff about Cam Ward and all the things that have me excited about Cam Ward, I put that video out yesterday. Make sure that you go check that out. But I plan to have more draft content coming up here through the next couple of weeks, 2 weeks, as we lead up to the NFL draft. But once again, make sure that you get subscribed, stay subscribed for free year-round Tennessee Titans film content. Throw a thumbs up on the video, throw a tighten up down in the chat. That's going to do it for me, your host, Tyler Rowland. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Tic Tac Titans. And as I tell you every episode, tighten up.